So can we give these three a very big and loud round of applause, please? I don't think that is loud enough. I don't think it's loud enough. They did some good. Wow, that's more about it. Exactly. So we'd just like to say thank you very much, and we are very grateful for you being here and giving us that much insight. So before we go to the Q&A, we would just call our sponsors, SMD, first and foremost. You need to respect that and give them the platform to just introduce their business and what their business is all about. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by introducing ourselves. My name is Succeed Modou. I am the manager. I am in charge of training and development. Here's my colleague Khadija Tujalo. She's a business development officer. Thank you once again, Mr. Modou, for this opportunity. It's nice to partner with you, and regrettably our CEO is not here. He's out of town, but he sent his regard. So SMD is a bilingual institution. We have three main core missions. Our mission is to capacitize the public sector within Africa. We do training and development for public service. We also do technical assistance and research. And we noticed that the public service in Africa is becoming decay at a point. And as a matter of that, SMD was established to help partner with public service institutions to reform their system. So basically our core goal is to reform the system of the public service in terms of training, capacity development, technical assistance, and research work. We just finished writing the Gambian National Employment Policy, where we engage a lot of stakeholders that are in charge of that get involved with employment and capacity building at every level, both the institutions like the university, the GTTI, Ministry of Trade, and every other institution that is in charge of employment. So we engage them, and we're able to come up with this document. And a lot of things that was not captured in the past were also captured in this document now, just to enhance the employment system of the Gambia. And we'll be doing a lot of work to make sure that we help institutions. Presently, we are having an activity in Congo where we are advising the Prime Minister on how to set up a delivery unit in the office of the Vice President. So that's the activity we are doing at the moment. So we are perfectly French and English, so we are trying to make sure that we help in any way we can. We have experts around the world that we partner with to bring this development goal to be fruitful. So we are also glad to partner with such an intellectual organization to help, just to support our little, in our little way, to make sure this keep going, because when you see such an initiative, you need to support, partner, get involved, and see how you can, build Africa. So I want to wish you the best in this career, in this journey, and anytime you call on us, our door is always open, as you know. We'll always answer you. Thank you.
Thank you. So if we can have if we can have Edwin to talk about the work of UNCDF in the Gambia.
Good evening, everyone. So for those who don't know me, my name is Edwin Mensah, and I am working with the United Nations Capital Development Fund, which is the investment agency of the UN system. So UNCDF is in the Gambia since 2018, and we're running a program which is called Job Skills and Finance, which aims at increasing employability for youth and women in the country, at the same time as access to finance. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to focus on the access to finance part here, where we're basically having market system approach, which is three different levels, right? The macro, the meso, and the micro level. So when you start by recognizing that access to finance is an issue in this country. Basically, we had a survey last year, which is called the FinScope survey, which basically said that only 5% of the population of the Gambia have access to a bank account, for instance. 40% of the population use non-formal financial service providers, for instance, to access to finance, and you have around 15% of the population who use informal means to access finance, which basically leaves like around 69% of the population totally excluded when it comes to access to finance. So when you recognize that, what do? Three levels of interventions, right? The macro level, which is basically policy and regulation. So working with the central bank and all the regulators, the government, into developing like the whole regulatory ecosystem, right? And I'm talking about know your customer requirements, for instance. I'm talking about payment system, for instance, right? How do you structure all this, to drive and unlock access to finance? If you want young people to be able to open bank account, and you have a law which says that basically nobody can open bank accounts before they're 21, that's an issue, okay? Right, so it's all about regulation and policy. Then we have like the meso level, which is basically how you can get the data supporting like the policy that you want to set up, right? How can you get like relevant information around like your ecosystem? And I was talking about this FinScope survey, which is like part of like that whole meso environment, which basically gives like evidence on which you can build policies, on which you can build, on which you can work basically, and go back to relevant authorities and say, well, look, this is what is happening, this is what the evidence say, what can we do, to change what is happening, right? And then you have like the micro level, which is basically a big part of my work. So working with entrepreneurs, for instance, working with fintechs, working with like the whole ecosystem that can help lifting young people, young and women, basically, when it comes to access to finance. We're trying to develop a different range of projects. One of them, which is which we just started. Is it for me? No. Which we just started is what we call psychometric assessments, for instance, right? So one of the main issues when it comes to access to finance, and especially when you're talking about banks, is like how to de-risk, how to manage the risk, right? So psychometric assessment is like a tool that basically assess your character and how you're likely able to reimburse loan based on like personality traits. So the idea is really to find alternative ways that will help people, and especially people upcountry, as we call them, like last mile people, getting what they would need to access finance, right? Really being able to go to a bank and say, okay, right, we've been running like all these tests. We know that Modou has a good character, is really nice, so he'll be able to repay. That's for you if he comes for you, right? So yeah, you can give him a loan, for instance, right? So it's a lot of different initiatives. We're kind of building an application, or we will be building an application that will kind of like streamline cash flows for for entrepreneurs, for instance, and trying to plug them to, once again, financial service providers, right? It's all about de-risking and, really at the micro level, at the entrepreneurial level, give that little push that people need, right, in terms of accessing financial services. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what we do. If you want, obviously, more details, I'm sitting right here, so.
Yes, during the networking. So thank you. Mr. Charno, if you would like to give a brief overview of what you do.
Good evening. My name is Charno Jan, and I'm part of a company. I'm co-founder of a company called Textile Solutions, along with Aissatou Diallo, who is also my wife. So our company makes, we manufacture this product called Ibrada, which is an automatic attire maker. You guys all know attire, I'm sure. So it's a machine that, who has not seen the Ibrada video, by the way?
Gotta check it out.
Who has seen it? Okay, so I don't have to describe what it is. Yeah, but we are a pretty young company. We designed the product ourselves, did all of that work and sent it off to a factory for manufacturing. And we at the stage right now where we're expecting our first units to be out end of next month. We have pre-orders open online for people outside of, pretty much outside of Gambia and Senegal that are in USA, Europe, and Middle East. And we out here in the Gambia, we registered our business here in the Gambia to be able to bring Ibrada here locally. And I think the e-commerce and just the supply chain infrastructure in that part of the world is mature enough that we can set things rolling and be out here where we need to do some actual work to get the product in here. And as Adram mentioned, not only Gambia but Senegal and really the entire region. We're getting a lot of interest from Mauritania, Morocco, Mali, even out to Niger and many other places. So we feel that establishing a presence here in Gambia is super important in just kind of like understanding, how to get product into people's hands out here, where it's a little bit different. So I'm pretty interested in some of the e-commerce stuff that's going on and all of that stuff as well, and just try to get the product out there and do our best. Did I miss anything I used to do that you want to add? All right, so if you want to learn more about Ibrada, just come by. We'll be around. Thanks so much.
It's a very fascinating product. So just before, I think we're running out of time. So if we can have some questions from the floor to the speakers. Just a quick one before we go into the networking event. Yeah. So Austin, this is an important opportunity
Hello, my name is Jong Kong. So my question goes to the Angel Investment Network. How do you know if your business is investment ready?
How do you know?
How do you determine whether your business is investment ready?
Well, now we do angel investment, meaning usually we invest by taking a stake in your business. But more and more angel investors do different type of instruments, and then they might use debt instruments. For example, what we call convertible notes, for example, etc. Why I'm talking about this? Because depending on the instrument they will be using, they won't have the same definition of investment readiness, right? But the first thing when they invest in your business is to make sure that your business is able to get a co-investor, meaning the legal registration of your business. Most of the small businesses, they are sole properties. When you have this registration, you cannot have an investor in your business. So it means you have to change it, and you will change it. It's not important. One day you get there, they are interested, they will tell you, and you will change it.
Yeah.
But this is something you have to know, for example.
Yeah.
Other stuff, when you need money to grow, your objective is not to get money, is to grow your business. It is really important for you to know what type of fund you need. Are you going for a loan? Are you funding your business? Are you getting to see an equity investor? This is very important, and your investment readiness is all about this, knowing exactly where your business stands, and depending on the stage, the level of your business, what is the most relevant instruments. This is very important. So I'm glad to say that we are with partners. We will be working on something we call the investment readiness program. I don't want to disclose much, but I think there is something that is coming, and it could be good for maybe people like you to be part of it.
Thank you.
But these are the basics. Yeah. To know exactly.
Yeah, so meaning if you have like a very good business idea and finance is the only thing holding you back, you cannot get investment through the angel investment.
Yeah, you can get it.
So because you guys are saying it has to be at least a year.
You have to be?
At least a year into business?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
For someone like me,
Yeah.
my business is now 1 year yet, but I know that if I have investment, I'll be able to make my vision come true.
How do you know it?
Based on my very good business plan and basically the profitability of the business, and you don't have the capital to start, and that's the only thing holding you back.
Why the capital is holding you back?
Because I don't have that money.
Yeah, but what I mean is, if you have the money, how are you going to use the money?
Yeah, I know exactly how much I need to invest in order to get that much profit.
Yeah.
But the problem is, because like most of all of these investments that are available are saying you have to be at least a year into a business, and that's the only thing holding me back from starting that business.
Okay. I said that you need at least 1 year, 1 fiscal year for us to be able to assess your...
Yeah.
But if you even have 3 months existence or 6 months, you can come, you still can come, and we can see how you made from first day to now. And then if we see that there is a good trend, something that makes sense, even sometimes people just start it, like they just have the idea and then nothing is ready. They can meet someone, an investor, that just say, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much you are making. I just believe in you because you convince me that you was someone that can do something. And then they can invest. These are criteria we use, but the only thing that really you have to have is you have to have your business registered. This is a criteria where nobody can do anything. Otherwise, I mean, yeah. If you really believe in your business.
Okay, then I'll come see you.
Yeah.
Did you talk about like specifically how an angel investor may get back some returns, like from a business they invested in? I've always been under the impression that it's very hard, that some of the infrastructure may not be in place here in Gambia to be able to invest and then understand actually how much revenue or how much profit the company made, what your share is, and all of that stuff. Can you talk about if that's a misconception, and maybe give like a more specific scenario or example for how an investor has gotten something back from a company they invested in, just to put it in concrete terms. It might sound silly, but like it's back in the blockchain, and everyone sees, like every stakeholder sees how much their due would have been out of that payment, and things along those lines. But are you aware of any innovation that African startups are doing to help in this space?
Oh, I give you the mic. I don't know any really innovation that the only thing I know is for example, here we are, I don't know if I can talk about it, but Fajara from Global Insist Global.
Yeah.
We are trying to see how using, for example, his software can help our businesses to do the right reporting, because he will start with the sales.
Yeah.
When you do a sales, you register your sales, and everything is monitored in the system. These type of things help to monitor and to do good reporting.
Some in terms of that, because we have that model sort of, you can have what they call the refactoring world. We had that where several people were funding the same business. It sort of mimics the crowdfunding model, but it really isn't. So different platforms for different investors. So if you deal with private equity firms, they may have those even for internal reporting that's out there. I know Modou and myself have talked about a platform for the small businesses in Gambia, that we were working on, and it's something that we were talking about and starting to work on, where it's not only the access to it, but there's a backline to it, where you would end up and see exactly that. You would see where your expenses are going, and you will see where the investors are making money. So there's a site that I know for sure that uses it just for distribution of money initially. They haven't really done it on the part of revenue outlining. But that is one thing that we talked about bringing and adding to that. So it takes a lot of work, but again, with the platforms here and the payment system, me not being 100% with the payment system here and still learning, it's gonna take a lot of security research. We get the good hackers in the system, get all the players, the app developers, get some of the good APIs in there. It's there, but it's out there. Can we bring it here is the question, and so that's what we're looking into.
Just to add one thing, if someone wants to change, we'll change. This is the first thing. So it's first here. That's what I believe. It's first here. You have to change. We have to change the mentalities here, the mindset here. That's the first thing, and then whatever the technology you can use. If someone wants to do this, we will do it. So
Mohammed Barry. Okay, this question goes to the both of you. Now, I am talking from the point of view of, let's say, current employees, people that are currently working. They're making some few savings and they want to invest. Is there any one of you with your platforms or with the businesses that you have? How do you accommodate some of these people who want to invest? Okay, they don't have the skills to invest. But you are the professionals in this area. Yes, there are people who need the investments, but can you accommodate this type of people so that at least some of the few people who are earning something could kind of find a way to invest? Well, this would depend. It could be from a micro, it could be from an individual perspective, because what I am looking at is from the lowest, one could decide to say $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month. It depends on what the person asks. My point is that everyone should be included. Like it should not, maybe the threshold would be there, but it would not be so high. Let's say I want to invest from 5,000 above. Anyone who has a saving of 5,000 and above can invest. Let's say regularly or within a year you can save. But do you have some of these accommodations? To understand?
I start. Well, that's why I'm asking how much do you have, because if you have a lot of money, I welcome you easily. But to be serious, yes, we have. So you can come and be part of our angels, and you can invest. Because what we are looking for in our network, we are not looking for very rich people. We are looking for people that have savings and that take 10% of the saving and give it to the entrepreneurs. What we do what we call a syndication, meaning if someone needs 1,000, but you have 100, we'll find 9 other people that can put each 100, and then we'll have the 1,000. That's what we do. But I know also there are some small businesses here that do that. I cannot say maybe names, but there are some that welcome people, individuals that have a bit of money, and then even there is one that is doing, for example, the revenue sharing model, etc. If you want, we can talk later, and there are a few of them that also are doing it here. The last thing is the crowdfunding platforms. We have crowdfunding platforms that are not made in the Gambia. I don't know if there is one here, but you have some but you have some targeting Africa and some targeting around the world, and then you can be anywhere in the world, invest in different type of industries, different type of businesses.
So I'll make it quick, but yes, the key is to be able to include everyone. I mentioned earlier that we're trying to give access to those that wouldn't have otherwise had access. the crowdfunding is the model that we talked about. The platform is not ready for it yet. It's going to be really tricky to do it in the US. It's something, I mean, in Gambia. It's easy for us to do back in the US, which we have. But our plan is to be able to do that in that sense, to create that fund, and it's a trust fund. It sort of would act like a mutual fund or one of those, like an IRA, for the lack of a better description, that we have in the US, where you put your savings in there and it's invested for you for more money. But in the case of what you're talking about, an individual wanting to invest in something, the individuals have to really want to put their money there and not be ready to take it out immediately. I think that's important for people to know. The fast money investment, make your money out, it's not the way to go if you're just wanting to use your savings and maximize. You have to, like you said, if it's 10%, okay, just know that it's 10% that you may not get back next month. So that's very important when you start thinking about that kind of stuff. And we were thinking about that, but it's going to take a minute to actually get the structure in place to do that.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that your work will focus in the community-based development and community-based projects, because most time we don't remember that, you know, there are people out in the colonies and they work really hard. For example, I'm mostly out in Kiang West in a village called Jolie, and if I say it to a Gambian, sometimes they don't know where Jolie is. So I wanted to know if you're going to develop an indigenous model that is suitable for the social and economic realities of the persons living in the community, or will you have a fusion of what you already know, which is a very vast knowledge and expertise, and then, you know, infuse it with the traditional aspect of, you know, the Gambian way of life? Thank you.
And yes, so part of, actually Monday I'm going out to Fajara, which is, I'm doing some work over there, and part of it is to talk to some people and then just see what we can do. But when I say community development fund, I actually mean it. My father is an agriculturist by training, and his passion was that. And so when we were creating and talking about the funding, that's where we were starting farmland and going in and go to local, start local first. That's what he did forever. So the model actually started there. What the innovation is going to do to that is we think we can maximize on mobile payments and mobile platforms to be able to do that financial inclusion, because a lot of people have cell phones. So what we're looking at is to use that as our tool to get to those people, rather than having vast crowd websites or something like that that we're used to doing now. So my goal is to bring that to the point of simplifying it to the point where anyone out in the countries, up countries, LRR, or anywhere else can actually be able to see the information, get that, and know that they can have access to it. So that is definitely my goal, because like I said, I'm starting from those that don't have, to be able to bring them to be playing in the same level as those that have. So hopefully you and I can talk more about what that would lead to.
And I think that sums it all for the event. Thank you so much to our sponsors, SMD Policy Management Institute, and also the Disruptive Lab, and also to our amazing speakers, and also to those that have also, that came to grace the occasion. We're really grateful, and I hope that you've learned a lot as well. It's inspiring, educative, because that's what our mandate is about. And obviously we're powered by Google. So these events are not local, it's international, worldwide. So that's why we put up a lot of quality on getting these events up and running. And it puts out also a lot of content about what Gambia is doing. That's why when we have in speakers, we make sure that we bring them to the topic that they're experts in the area. So, and shout out to them, and also to the Disruptive Lab for hosting us. And currently we would be providing certificates, so it's part of what we do, to ascertain the credibility of what we do. Also, we provide certificates to our speakers and our sponsors. As I said, this is, all the other chapters across, we're in 125 countries, so there's a whole lot of quality on what we do, and Banjul was one of those chapters doing pretty much well. Past year you've seen what we have done, so we would like you guys to give them a round of applause, and then we can provide the certificates. So who do we have? So we have the sponsor, SMD Policy Management Institute. I'm thinking Succeed. The guy who gave me the money can come.
Money first.
So this is something that you can have, yeah, just a show of appreciation of the partnership. See, I love the mic, so thank you. So we have Hadi Kulbali, yeah, so the VP of Credit now, huh? He has been the one talking about the finance stuff, so here it is. Thank you so much for coming. And the angel investor, you know I'm coming next week, so just expect me for some investment. So thank you. Right. So now, do we have music? I'm not sure. So is the networking? Food is available, so we can get to exchange cards. And thank you so much for coming. And yeah, see you.